Failure's not an option, to be honest.
Creating inspirational spaces to benefit the community.
I have never seen this done before. Extraordinary.
They'll be judged by Carol Klein and Mark Gregory.
This is a bit loose, isn't it?
We won't be able to get away with anything. He will see every detail.
They've got the know-how.
This draws you in, warms you up.
We've got the professionals.
Hello, see the excitement.
The gloves are on.
Can you stop sweeping?
Who has the winning design?
I'm blown away.
The Great Gardening Challenge starts Tuesday the 2nd of July on Channel 5.
Morning, it's Channel 5 with Peppa Pig here at 6 o'clock. Granny and Grandpa Pig inviting Peppa and her family to lunch, though there is a bit of a traffic jam delaying the eating activity. Milkshake kicks off in 25 minutes after Wildlife SOS.
In Britain, we have a great variety of wildlife, but all too often wild animals fall sick or get injured or become orphaned. Fortunately, there are groups of volunteers who are devoted to taking care of them. One rescue centre decided to video its activities for educational purposes and to train its helpers. In this series, we're going to bring you extracts from their unique archive. The scenes were shot using amateur video equipment, but they capture the drama and the emotion of this fascinating work. Simon Cowell leads the team of volunteers.
On May the 13th, 1996, the centre suffered a terrible fire which destroyed all of the rehabilitation unit. When dawn broke the following morning, the situation seemed totally unreal. It seemed as if we could never recover from this disaster. The smell of smouldering timber hit home the scenes that we'd seen only hours before. The animals that had been bundled into makeshift cages still appeared totally traumatized, but this at last began to force me to think of their welfare. If we did not fight back, they would be denied the chance of returning to the wild. We owed it to them, even if nothing else mattered. It seemed ironic that in this total devastation, the morning skies were so beautiful, and the dawn chorus seemed even louder and more melodic than usual, as if to tell us that this is a new day and a new challenge that could be achieved. I can't describe the feelings that went through my mind at this point. It was as if someone or something sensed my doubt and came forward to strengthen my resolve to rebuild and improve upon our facilities. We would continue and we would not give up. And so despite the fact the centre was engulfed in flames only 7 hours before, we opened as usual and turned nothing away. At 9 o'clock I felt I was able to ring the trustees and the patrons to tell them of the disaster, and amazingly 2 of our patrons, Virginia McKenna and Jenny Seagrove, said that they would come over immediately. Already the news services were picking up on the story and our phones were constantly ringing. The press wanted to come and take pictures and the TV wanted to come and do live links. Virginia and Jenny were amazing that day. They dealt with all the media interests brilliantly. By now, not only were our normal volunteers offering additional time to help us, but the public too were offering so much help. It was overwhelming. Donations of goods, money, time and many other things. An elderly lady who lived over a mile away had walked all the way to the centre in tears and put a £50 note into our collection box. This was probably money that she could ill afford to give away. I don't think any of us have ever felt such a mixture of emotions that day, from sad to happy to grateful, everything. Our volunteers were taking time off work to help us, and the firemen from Red Watch, now off duty, came back to help us clear up. By now we were functioning on pure adrenaline, with no doubt that we would overcome all of our problems. For the next 2 days, not only was the centre functioning normally, but the phone calls of support never stopped. But then something happened that stopped us in our tracks. The vets that had been so marvellous coming in every day to check on not only the new arrivals, but those animals still suffering from the after effects of the fire. It was 3 days after the fire that one of our vets sat us down and said that despite everybody's best efforts, the badger that had been rescued from beneath the burnt-out buildings was not only showing no signs of recovery, but his breathing was becoming laboured and painful. This badger had been our inspiration since the fire, and now it was as if he had helped us all he could, and he needed to be allowed to sleep. It was with unbelievably heavy hearts that we all watched in tears whilst the vet administered the overdose of anaesthetic that would allow him to die peacefully. Our symbol of hope had been extinguished. This event shattered us more than we could ever have imagined. It all seemed so useless, so demoralising, and this misery was to stay with us for several weeks, although we just kept on going. Our hearts once again had been broken. But life goes on, and there would always be animals for us to care for. We are proud to say that the centre didn't close at all during this time. Our dedicated volunteers put in so many extra hours to help us cope with all the new arrivals and the demands of the existing patients. The centre has been adopted by 2 polecat ferrets, Alf, who you see here, and Julia. They have been with us for over 5 years. We always say that any animal that we are not able to release back to the wild is one of our failures. However, these 2 mischievous creatures were quite obviously domesticated when they were brought to us. Following a recent operation to remove a cancerous growth around his spleen, Alf then developed another lump in his tummy, and Rosie was called in to investigate.
Well, considering he was across the floor with intensive care within half an hour of going out of his anaesthetic chasing a pheasant.
So we ought to go back in and just very quickly repair that. It's not serious, but it ought to be done really, because it could become serious later. I just think that having seen the lab results, whether someone wants them to have another anaesthetic or not. It certainly wouldn't be a very long anaesthetic, it would only take 10 minutes.
I've just had a look at Alfie and he's doing very well, but when we made the incision to remove the spleen, there looks like there's been a small breakdown in the muscle there. He's got a little hernia there. So we really need to go back in and repair that. But I was going to ask how you felt about it in view of the biopsy report and whether you'd want him to have another anaesthetic or not.
I think if he's got a hernia there, and I mean, if he gets secondaries or whatever, then that's going to happen anyway. But while he's with us, he might as well have a comfortable life. And talking from knowledge of a little umbilical hernia myself, it's very annoying. So I would have thought it's worth just switching him out. Just tucking it in and stitching it up again. To be honest, I think it makes sense, doesn't it?
He's having 8.
Oh, big boy.
9.
Big boy. Big boy. Big boy.
Not for male ferret.
Right, you ready to knock this thing out?
Yes.
What do you use, halothane or
no, isoflurane. Oops.
Alfie, let go of my t-shirt. Good boy. 1.5?
1.5 on the oxygen, 4 on the isoflurane.
Nitrous or not?
No. 1. Sorry?
Big enough drapes.
Yes. Only just. I will only just manage.
Buried him?
Right. Now. You can see all these gaps and you shouldn't be able to see them. Now we're just cutting the very edge of the muscle so that there's a removal of scar tissue, so there's a fresh edge so that each side will heal back to the other, and hopefully it will heal a bit better this time.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a treble and then 3 singles.
Right. Alf's been at the centre for, I guess, now, longer than I care to remember, at least 5 years, I think. He came in, he was found, I think he was the one who was found wandering along the A3. It was pouring with rain. He looked in very bad condition, but nothing like as bad as Julia.
Looked just very weak and very thin. And, we were told just after we did it that you should never put two polecats together straight out of the blue, and the helper who was on duty that day didn't actually know that. Put them straight in together, and within 3 months it was a Daniel Steele novel gone berserk. They were totally enamoured with each other and have never been separated since. And if actually we ever do take one of them fundraising and leave the other one here, all hell breaks loose until they're reunited.
The operation was both short and totally successful, and it wasn't long before Alf was reunited with Julia and their hectic social life resumed. Alf and Julia are very well-known stars at the many talks that we give to schools. They are wonderful at entertaining the children whilst getting across our wildlife in danger message. The sad fate of the badger who had been put to sleep after the fire came home to me again one evening when we were able to release this badger. He had now recovered from being hit by a car several days ago. We try to release our patients back to the wild as soon as possible. It is often incredibly difficult to judge when this moment should happen. It is very hard to examine wild creatures unless they are under anaesthetic. X-rays will show broken bones, but sometimes a muscular problem is only visible when the animal is moving. Having watched this badger on closed-circuit television at the centre, all looked fine, but it was not until he tried to run on release that we could see a slight problem. He seemed worryingly weak on his left back leg. But this problem soon disappeared as he ran to freedom. Occasionally a patient will develop a type of cramp whilst being transported for release. However, this soon passes so that they can run normally. Every time we release a badger now, I think back to the poor traumatised badger from the fire, and I can't help but feel that he put his trust in us, but we failed him. I can only hope he can see that we are still doing our best and trying to make amends for his sad death.
Hello, anybody in?
An unusual arrival one day was a large black plastic bucket, but even more unusual were the contents.
There's about 20 of them in there.
Really?
We'd like to know what they are, please.
Oh, yes.
We're hoping they're grass snake babies.
I hope they are too. They look it, don't they? Aren't they beautiful?
They're gorgeous at that size.
All the markings there.
Definitely.
Grass snake.
Yes.
Definitely.
I would say so. I don't think I'd be holding it if it wasn't.
But we just disturbed, obviously, a whole clutch of them,
In
so...
your muck heap, I
Yeah.
take it.
We called in one of our amphibian and reptile experts to help us decide what best to do with them.
I'm pretty sure they're grass snakes, in which case they could probably go straight back. Is it late for grass snakes?
Just a bit. So what size are they?
Oh!
Right, you come do the introductions, Christine, because I can't.
Little babies.
Are they sort of late for grass snakes?
They are late.
Yeah, a bit fascinating.
But everything's been doing 2 and 3 loads this year, so...
Yeah, our last load of swallows have only just gone this week.
Right from birth, the vipers have got a V on the
Have
head.
they?
Yeah.
Grass snake's always got that little bit of yellow
Got the yellow bar.
on the neck, yeah?
But so what colour is the V then?
The V should be black.
Oh right, okay. Hello pretty. Hello pretty. Well that's what I didn't want to do. I've never yet seen
They
one.
won't do you. Well, if you can get hold of them behind the head, then you've got no problem.
No.
But they won't get their mouths open wide enough to be able to give you a nasty enough bite anyway, so... As long as it's under a foot long, then you should be alright.
Hey, yeah, talking about you.
Yeah, put them back. Have you got water nearby?
Right by a ditch, so
Yeah, that's why they're there.
that'll be alright down there, won't it, I think?
And they come back to the same place to
Yeah.
lay their eggs, yeah? Okay.
They'll come back to hibernate as well as relay. I mean, they'll make their own way back anyway. They'll pick the heat up, no problem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Thank you.
He or she is quite well on. We received a call telling us that there was a young roe deer lying in some bushes and that it had been there for some time. Hello, baby one.
What have you done to yourself, eh? Why are you lying down there? Come on, then. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Right. Shh, 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 shh. Come on. What have you done to yourself, eh? Where's your mum gone? Where's your mum gone, eh? Where's your mum gone? Come on. I know. Come on. What's the matter? What's the matter, eh? What have you done to yourself?
It is during May and June that we start to see young deer. They are one of the most difficult species to deal with. If you see a young deer lying alone, please do not rush to pick it up. Adults will often leave their young for up to 6 hours. Once handled by man, it is nearly impossible to return them back to the parents. So please stand back, monitor the situation, and ring a wildlife centre who will send someone out to check. Only if the deer is in danger or obviously injured should you interfere. Also, at all times, but particularly during the spring and summer, your dog should be kept under tight control, because another of our worst problems are where dogs have attacked deer.
Put your legs under, you'll be more comfortable. Come on, put your legs under. There we are. Here we are. There we are. Shh, 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 shh. Shh, 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 shh. There we are. Thirsty. I suspect she's either been... I don't think it's attacked by a dog because there's not enough marks, but she could have been hit. There's certainly marks on her body where she's been hit either by somebody or something. So it's going to mean... I mean, she's well on. She's probably 12 weeks old. Yeah, no, she's probably about 12 weeks old. She's losing her spots as well. If she'd been lying up on her haunches under there, that would have been fine. I would have left her there. Because she's lying down, it's not the way they should be lying at all. The neck's quite stiff. So we'll give her...
She's moved during the
Right,
day.
she's probably just swiveled around.
She's been lying around, but she's swiveled, and that's why she's...
Yeah. We'll give her anti-shock treatment and fluid therapy as soon as we get her back. Well, his legs work,
Yes.
but it's not able to stand up. Outside, isn't it? Bloody sure it is.
Lovely. Big vein. Let go.
Yeah. You've got blood.
Oh, you have.
You just hold that steady without moving it too much. Right, how are we doing?
Oh, baby.
Step inside the world's most iconic chocolate factories.
It's here where chocolate dreams begin.
A lot of magic is happening.
It's really fun. And meet the real-life Willy Wonkas that make our sweet dreams come true. The Wonderful World of Chocolate continues Sunday at 7 on Channel 5.
Not your average, mean, green.
Like nothing you've ever seen.
Fast food eating.
We just came for the free pizza.
Sewer dwelling.
Be careful.
Catchphrase creating.
Cowabunga!
Mutant machines.
With Hero, we deserve a name like
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Weekend mornings on Channel 5.
This is the young roe deer that came in last night, which we rescued from somebody's large estate. He's quite well on, but as you can see now, regrettably, although we've given him all the treatment we can of shock therapy and of fluid therapy, he died a couple of hours ago. It's just so sad that young deer of this type, they find it very hard to cope with captivity, and obviously we do not know why he was down anyway. There are some minor wounds on his body, so he was either attacked by dogs, which I think perhaps slightly unlikely because there's no major damage, and a dog, once it gets to something this small, will do a lot of damage, or he's been hit by something or somebody. So we don't know what sort of internal injuries there are. He'll obviously have a post-mortem now. It's just so sad that people pick up deer or go to deer too quickly, which means that the parents will not go back to them. And a deer of this age needs to be with his parents for some considerable time, certainly right through until the autumn. And this, in a lot of cases, I'm afraid, is the sort of result. We can give him all the treatment and medical help that we can, but the stress of the situation is just too much for the animal to bear, and we end up with what I call a catastrophe, really, because it's just so sad that these animals don't get the chance to even make their first year of life. Really bad news.
A prickly problem of the hedgehog kind. Whilst casting no aspersions on hedgehogs, they are possibly not quite as sensible as they should be, and they tend to follow the theory that if the nose fits through a gap, so will the body. I'm afraid this causes many problems for our little prickly friends, and they often come to us with plastic ring pulls, plastic netting, tin cans, and other such objects stuck round their neck.
All right, we'll take him
This
back.
poor animal had got stuck in a chain link fence at the bottom of the garden.
Feels quite heavy.
How did you find it?
Well, I heard the cats down there were making a noise, so I went down to investigate and saw it with its head stuck.
The problem is that their prickles point backwards and prevent a rapid withdrawal, a slow withdrawal, or in fact any backwards escape at all.
Yeah, I think that is one for the hospital, that one. Shall I get that off?
When you are next out walking, please do look down and around. Chain link fence, sports netting, and many other hazards only too often cause injury to our wildlife, especially the hedgehogs.
Right, we go okay?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Right, thanks a lot. Bye.
It's a real necklace, isn't it? Let's see if we can help him with this one.
A big hedgehog.
Yes, he's got a nice necklace around his neck as well.
If you wouldn't mind getting him out, I'll get the gas on. You ain't gonna like this much.
Kill me, matey. Alright.
Phones and extractors off. You just come. So that's actually, is that metal?
Yeah.
You got some wire cutters with you?
Well, I have, but I mean, this stuff, you should be able to
unravel it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I got it.
that sort of.
Okay. Let's get him knocked out.
Susan was easily able to sort out the problem. When a hedgehog is under threat, it curls up in a tight prickly ball. Interestingly enough, the only natural enemy of the hedgehog is the badger, who, with its long, strong talons, is able to uncurl the hedgehog. Fortunately, a light anaesthetic serves the same purpose, and as the hog relaxes, it uncurls.
Getting legs out, we're halfway there. Got some bloody bits around here, if I get some. Very swollen around his neck. So he got his head through there, George. Get off, please. No, they just unravel, just undoes, which is what's so a shame. Just comes, says I. Yeah, gosh, that's going to be better.
That's it.
No, let's have a look at him here now.
Don't get too close, boys, or else you'll be itching all night. What George might enjoy.
And I'll get it in while he's still unconscious, because it stings a bit, I am assured.
Whilst there was no major damage, there were some superficial wounds, so Susan decided to put the hedgehog on a course of antibiotics.
Here, I think. I've got fleas in my hair, I can feel them. Oh, he's coming round beautifully, look at that, isn't that good? She's coming round, I'm so sorry. Nope, no, she's moving, that's great. What's all this all over her? Did they put flea spray on her or something?
Don't know. They didn't.
I do wish people wouldn't do it. People think they're being kind. And they put flea powder. And they don't realise that these little tiny mammals breathe in all this powder and then it gives them very deep lung problems. He says, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Join us next week for some more glimpses of the challenges facing wildlife and the people who care for them.
6 teams of award-winning designers go head-to-head.
I have never seen this done before. Extraordinary.
They'll be judged by Carol Klein and Mark Gregory.
This draws you in one shot.
The gloves are on.
Can you stop sweeping?
Who has the winning design? The Great Gardening Challenge starts Tuesday the 2nd of July on Channel 5.
Not your average. Mean green.
Like nothing you've ever seen.
Fast food eating.
We just came for the free pizza.
Sewage dwelling.
Be careful.
Catchphrase creating.
Cowabunga!
Mutant machines.
We're heroes. We deserve a name like...
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Weekend mornings on Channel 5.
It is Tuesday the 25th of June and boy have I got some good news for you. We've got brand new Shimmer and Shine coming your way later, but right now Peppa's stuck in a traffic jam.
What did the traffic light say to the car?
Stop.
No, it said, don't look, I'm changing! Milkshake, sponsored by very.co.uk.
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. This is Mummy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig. Peppa Pig. Traffic jam.
Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig are making lunch for Peppa and her family.
I've dug up some more potatoes.
Oh, Grandpa, we've already got plenty of potatoes.
You can never have too many potatoes.
OK, but get the potatoes in the oven. The others will be here soon.
Oh, we've plenty of time. It's only 11 o'clock.
Peppa and her family are on their way.
I wish we'd set off sooner. We're going to be late again.
Don't worry, Mummy Pig. We've still got loads of time.
We're always late when we go to Granny and Grandpa's.
Not this time. I've found a new way that avoids all the traffic. Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Peppa and her family are stuck in a traffic jam.
Look, there's Danny Dog and Grandad Dog.
Danny Dog and Grandad Dog are in the traffic jam too.
Hello, Peppa.
Hello, Peppa.
We're going to my Granny and Grandpa's for lunch. We're going to be late.
It's 1 o'clock. They're late, as usual.
How are your potatoes doing?
They still need a bit more cooking.
Granny Pig speaking.
Hello, Granny Pig. We're stuck in a traffic jam.
Don't worry. We're running late too. Grandpa's gone over the top with potatoes. See you in a bit. The poor dears are stuck in a traffic jam.
Sounds like I've got time to get a few more potatoes.
Grandpa Pig.
We're moving so slowly. We'll never get to Granny and Grandpa's.
Peppa's right. We have to try a different way.
But there aren't any other main roads.
I know a shortcut.
Bye-bye, everyone. We're taking a shortcut. Bye-bye, Peppa.
Good luck!
Mummy Pig is taking a shortcut to get ahead of the traffic. The shortcut is very bumpy.
This is fun.
Are you sure about this?
Trust me.
Hello, ducks. We're taking a shortcut.
Look, there's the main road again.
Well done, Mummy Pig.
But we're still behind Danny's lorry. Hello.
Welcome back.
Oh dear, Mummy Pig's shortcut has not worked very well.
Good. Lunch is ready.
And most important of all, the potatoes are done.
Lunch is ready, but Peppa and her family are still not here.
Grandpa Pig speaking.
We're almost at your house. But the traffic is still moving at the speed of a snail.
A very, very slow snail.
They're almost here, but they're still in the traffic jam.
Poor dears. The food is going to get cold.
I've got an idea. I'll get my wheelbarrow.
What is Grandpa Pig doing?
Granny Pig, load the lunch into the wheelbarrow.